The Montreal Canadiens started this season off without Patrik Laine, and they looked like shit. Then they got him back in December, and it looked like they were going to storm right into a playoff position or something, but guess what? Since the end of January, they've definitely cooled off a little bit. Patrik Laine is no longer scoring goals, the Canadiens are no longer winning games, and Habs fans, they're smashing their heads against the walls. Some of them are already losing their patience with poor patty cakes. But before we get too far into this, before I try and calm everybody down with my drunken words of wisdom, you see, this video is brought to you by Miraj Trading, where you can get hockey cards, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, you name it. The boys over at Miraj, they got it. You can earn points with every purchase that you make. The links for Miraj Trading are going to be in the description of today's video. Now, here we go. I shouldn't even have to say this, but stop blaming Patrik Laine for the Canadiens playing like shit over the past couple of weeks. Stop blaming this young man for global warming. Stop twisting his words during interviews to try and make him look like some kind of a giant self-entitled idiot. Because believe it or not, there's nobody more upset with his performance over the past couple of weeks than Patty himself. He's never been shy to admit when he's been struggling. We've seen him do this many times already in the past, and during a recent interview for the Four Nations tournament thingy-majiggy, whatever they got going on, Laine said that he's hoping these extra minutes and all this extra ice time can help him snap out of this scoring funk. And who knows? Maybe it does, and maybe everybody's singing Kumbaya once again before this season comes to an end. Because as you're all aware, a couple of games ago, Patrik Laine, who usually sees second-line duty, was demoted. That's right. He was given less ice time by head coach Marty St. Louis. He was playing in the bottom six because they were trying to set an example. They were trying to get the guy going. And while normally I'm not one to nitpick any of Marty's coaching decisions, I don't like to pretend that I know what's best for a particular player, but listen, I'll say this. I was not a very big fan of this particular idea because Patrik Laine just doesn't seem like that kind of player. You know what I mean? Yeah, it works out perfectly for some guys. It might even make him better. But for this player, Patrik Laine, no, I don't buy it. The poor guy's already playing on one of the worst second lines in the NHL as it is. I mean, Kirby Dach and Alex Newhook, they're like playing with the Harry and Lloyd of second lines. And I think if you really want to get him going, if you really want to mix things up a little bit, maybe instead of less, you give him more, okay? You give him better line mates instead. Maybe a shot on the first line, just saying. And I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but when you're already losing 8 out of your last 9 games and you got a guy that can shoot the puck like this? Hey, come on. It doesn't really seem like that crazy of an idea. Now, his 12 goals in 28 games puts him on pace for about a 35-goal season over an 82-game stretch. But again, you got to keep in mind that the bulk of this damage was done on the power play alongside guys like Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson on the point. This is where he was having success, not alongside guys like Dach and Newhook. That entire line just hasn't been able to get the job done. And that's why I'm already looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to seeing a guy like Ivan Demidov possibly get injected into the lineup. Because Kazakhstan's right now, I feel like we can all agree that the second line just, it ain't what it should be, okay? It's in desperate need of a guy who could grab the ball by the horns, and so far we just haven't been able to see that from Kirby Dach. I feel like Patrik Laine has somewhat taken the fall for this line lately, but in reality, it's his line mates who don't belong in the top 6. That's got to be addressed. But you could go ahead and let me know how you feel about Patrik Laine so far this season. Would you like to see him get some better line mates at some point? Let me know down in the comment section. Please don't forget to give that like button a stone cold stunner before you leave here. And hey, I'll see you next time.